We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad.
Welcome back. Okay, today we got a juicy topic. I want to explore the difference between the Beat generation and the generation of today. Of late, I've tried to immerse myself into the Beat generation. Now, during the 40s and early 50s, there was a rise of a counterculture to the social norm. The problem in terms of the social norm standpoint was that the minds that were backing this culture were the great minds graduating from post-secondary educations, respectable minds, the minds that were smart enough to question traditional views in society. These minds didn't stay quiet either. They wrote and published novels. It was a literary movement, and people liked it. Many would say it gave backbone to the start of a lot of social rebellions in the 60s. I would have to say that a literary movement was by far more effective in this time than compared to ours. Why? Well, I don't think I may be well versed enough to say, but media can be seen as a distraction. More than anything, these beat movements had nothing better to do than fight for their rights. And to be totally honest, I would have to say this is where our generation fails. We question, but never act upon. Who's our Jack Kerouac? Who's our Tom Wolfe? These figures the media are creating for us to look up to cannot be as strong as these figures in the Beat days. Do we even think about the figures we look up to, or do we just adore them for their status? The problem with saying this is it really doesn't matter, does it? And let's be honest, the media stars of today can never have as much original thought as the people pushing the social movements and writing great literature of the Beat days. If I had to comment on a reason why, I would say it's because the Beat generation was never asking for status. It came with the territory. Our media stars seek it, and that's why it fails. If there's any proof in this statement, I would have to say look at the media programs being created. Celebrity Rehab, MTV, What Are They Doing Now programs like these are just making fools not only of the celebrities that are dumb enough to go in front of the world to show us that you're only cool in the media spotlight, but the audience that are watching them. I'm going to say I feel because this is open to debate, but you can only look at the media from a referential standpoint for what it actually is, and that is where I get flack. You don't gain much from watching television, and if you do have an argument against this, it would probably be the news. But my roommate said it best. We are fortunate to have the news and to be able to think and act upon it afterwards. But for the amount of people that would say this argument, I would have to say for as much news as you watch, what do you really do to help after? Media and television can only be looked at for what it is. We don't gain much from it. That's why back to my original thought, the literary stars and social leaders in the Beat generation are more effective. It's 2010 and I am still comparing their work to ours. 50 years from now, Miley Cyrus will not be talked about. To sum this comment up, I would have to say, check out this generation, and to use a quote from a great storyteller, Utah Phillips. It feels like anyone that's ever told me that you cannot live in the past is just trying to get me to forget something. It seems to come alive. We must not forget we will always have a lot to learn from our generation's past. It can only help us perfect ours. Thanks for listening.
I want you to get mad.